Welcome back, everyone, to the Extra Attacker Podcast, episode 25. We've made it a quarter of a century.
Yeah, let's go with that.
And to begin today's special episode, the last one of the 2024-2025 NHL season, we have a wonderful adapted rendition of the O Canada anthem, theme song, if you will, that was written by Stoney from 97.1 The Ticket, with one line slightly changed. But this is Jeff singing Whoa Canada. I've just sent him the lyrics, and he can begin.
What are you doing to me here? That's just depressing. I can't do that.
It's in good fun.
No Stanley Cup for thee. I can't do that to you, Canadians.
Okay, fine. I will read it then.
Oh, that's just sad.
It's so funny, though, because it's so savage. I loved it. It's so funny. For those wondering now I got it. Now
you have to. Oh.
Now I have to. It says, "Whoa, Canada. It happened once again. 32 years. When will you win again? The last time you won, Jeff was newly born, and McDavid wasn't even born. Since 93, it's the same ending. The true North hearts are torn. God keep this land." Or your land, because I was coming from an American. "God keep your land, Stanley Cup and tariff free. Whoa, Canada, it's been since 93. Whoa, Canada. No Stanley Cup for thee." I mean, you gotta admit, that's pretty good. It's like,
dude,
he's sad.
Cry.
It's sad. But at this point, like, if you either cry or you laugh. Like, there's only two options at this point.
I mean, you're not wrong. It was rough. I just
heck of a finals.
You'll have a little bit more recap. I feel like.
Oh, I've got a heartbreaking story about Game 6.
Yeah, so I feel like all my thoughts on it, I kind of talked about last week. I don't think anything really changed throughout the week during these last two games, as far as what I observed, what my thoughts on it was. After Game 5, it was that game, like I was telling you. I had basically accepted at that point. I said, this is over. Let's just get Game 6 over with and be done with it. And so I had already started my morning. Obviously, I went in as hopeful as possible to Game 6, but I had already at that point just kind of accepted fate. And I put a brave face on because we had like 7 people at our house watching the game. But they just... No. They looked mentally defeated to me. And they just had nothing left in the tank.
Nah. I mean...
That's all I got on it. I mean...
Hey, when Crosby won his first cup, his team got blown out in Game 5 to go down 3-2 in the series. So I was like, look, it's happened before. Every team can have a bad game. Every team can have a couple bad games. Like, it's just... I was still completely in Delulu land of belief. Okay? I wasn't nervous until they scored the first goal. That's when the anxiety set in. After the second goal, I was stressed out of my mind, but I still believed. It wasn't until halfway through the second period that I accepted fate. That I recognized the reality, like, this is not going to happen. We are not going back to Edmonton. Yeah. Game 7 is not happening. Yeah. And for the rest of the second period, I'm like, distracting myself on the phone, just sitting there. But then during the second intermission, I'm like, no. I'm putting my phone down. I am going to watch the entire third period. I'm going to watch the entire award ceremony. Like, I'm watching the whole. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to take it in. I felt so dead inside. Like last year I actually felt fine. I was like, you know what? It'd been such a fun season. We came back from 3-0 down. We gave it everything. Like it was a 2-1 final. Like it was as close as it gets. It's just that one extra bounce went Florida's way. What a season. What a ride. What a time. This time I was like, Florida was just so much better.
Yeah.
Oilers were really good. Like we're definitely the second best team in the league.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But Florida just this year, Bill Zito, hats off to like the Marchand pickup, the ability to get Seth Jones, just everything, the whole way the team's built with their first three lines essentially all being in the top 10, 12 in playoff point, all like being within like 2-3 points of each other, all with like 19 to 22 points in the playoffs is unreal. And Sam Bennett with the Conn Smythe. If Marchand had a better first round and a half, he would have deserved the Conn Smythe, but Bennett was better across the whole thing.
Real quick interjection on that. I did see yesterday, and I didn't care enough to write it down. But I did see the final voting numbers for the Conn Smythe. 73 to 68. Ooh. Bennett over Marchand. So Marchie almost took it.
I mean, I kind of wanted to give it to Bobrovsky myself. I get what, like, obviously, Bennett and Marchand definitely both did deserve it, but I was like, I kind of want to give it to Bobby. Yeah. I love this playoffs. I thought it was really good.
I sat long enough. I said, I want to see who gets the Conn Smythe. Beyond that, I do not care. And I got up and left.
Nah,
I said, I watched the whole myself through this. And so, I mean, I had either more power to you for that, or let's get you checked into a mental facility, because that's just that is just self-loathing behavior.
No, it's not self-loathing, because part of sports is losing. I have lost championships before personally in sports I've played, and it hurts and it sucks, and you have to live through it. And I'm like, I still believe that this is a team that can win it all. Like, this is not, the window's not closed. Things are not done. The Oilers still have a great window these next few years to win. And so I'm like, I got to sit here. I got to take this. I got to absorb this to help with the future, help with the mental game. When you've been through adversity, when you've been through struggle and pain and you've survived and you've lived through it, you're more capable of handling the face of it in the future. And it will make the win one day so much sweeter because of the pain.
Yeah.
You cannot know joy without also sorrow. And so I'm like, I'm going to make myself sit there. I'm going to be a witness to this event so that when it's our turn, it's going to matter. I ain't no fair weather fan.
That's fair.
But also, I should probably get checked out. I should probably get checked out. That's it. No question.
I could not bring myself to do it. It's like I don't hate myself that much to sit there and watch all that. So,
well, yes, good on Florida you for
won. That. Season's over. I'm already having withdrawals, and I need hockey back, which is good because teams are starting to announce their preseason schedules, meaning we're not that far away. So there's that.
Yeah.
And that's it. Great episode. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Also, okay, so let's maybe, I want to throw out a few stats just to give people some perspective on Game 6. So in Game 6, Florida iced a $93 million cap roster. Edmonton, $73 million. For the perspective, cap is $88 million.
So let's make sure we investigate Edmonton for cap circumvention.
Well, investigate Kane. We're investigating Kane specifically. Now, Kane's a diva. Like, honestly, I'm done with him. Time to send him, ship him out, pack him up.
Ooh, okay.
He's making it too much about him. He's not buying in. Florida and their defense across the last 2 years of the playoffs. If people are like McDavid didn't do enough, it's like, okay, guys, let's take a look at some stats here. In the past 2 years of the playoffs, In 13 games, Florida held McDavid to 4 goals. In 10 games, they held Kucherov to 0 goals. In 7 games, Matthews to 1 goal. Pasta in 6 games to 1 goal. And Panarin in 6 games to 1 goal. So I don't think McDavid's necessarily the issue. He actually has the best goals per game of any of those guys. Florida, they're just so good defensively. They're so good. Their forecheck's unbelievable. The way they make it work. I heard before the series started, the way Florida forechecks, they give up a good few breakaways. Mm-hmm. Edmonton had like maybe 2 across that whole
3,
series.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't much. And even when they did, they were still able to kind of get back close enough to put some degree of pressure on the guy that had the breakaway. So you just can't compete with that forecheck. And people have got to figure out a way to do it.
So good.
So,
we don't know all the injuries yet, but we know Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is playing with a broken hand. Reinhart had a broken something, I think, in the hand area. And Tkachuk had a groin issue.
Tkachuk not only had that groin issue, but he did an interview on the ice after the game where he was saying that in addition to that, he also, before the playoffs started, had torn his adductor off the bone.
Right, yeah.
So
I don't even know what that is, but ow.
Muscle that should be on a bone is no longer on the bone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Don't ask me where that muscle is. I don't know. But also,
and in other news, LeBron James flopped again because somebody got into his personal bubble.
So the entire court?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Also, one last fun fact for all of y'all. An American team has won the Grey Cup, the Canadian Football League, CFL's championship trophy, more recently than a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup, where in 1995, the Baltimore Stallions won the Grey Cup.
And I want to put this question out to everybody watching. How many of you have even heard of the Canadian Football League?
Well, who's ever heard of the Baltimore Stallions?
Yeah. You have because you're in Canada.
I haven't. That was the first time.
Really?
I'd never heard.
Okay. I don't think they're still around, though.
No. There's no American teams left in the CFL. Why there ever was any, I don't know. But
wait, really?
Yeah.
I thought Buffalo still was.
No.
Toronto, Winnipeg, BC, Edmonton, Montreal, Calgary, Hamilton, Ottawa, Saskatchewan. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I thought Buffalo was still around, but apparently not.
Fun facts with Kynan. Okay, let's move on to the stuff that makes us not depressed and need therapy. Dallas.
Yeah.
They need therapy and help, but
yes.
Dallas.
If you missed it last week, we took a deep dive into Dallas. They're very, very, very much in cap hell right now. They're not doing well, and they have started to make some of their moves. Mason Marchment's gone.
Bye-bye.
Mason Marchment has been shipped off to Seattle for a 2025 4th-round pick and a 2026 3rd-round pick. That's it.
Well, and probably at dinner.
Yeah. Maybe a bag of pucks or something. Dallas retains none of his cap, so Seattle took that on. Matt Duchene, 4-year, $18 million contract to stay with the Stars. Now, when I saw that, Matt Duchene only getting $18 million across 4 years, you couldn't get more team friendly than that.
To be fair, he is 34 years old.
He is getting up there. He is an old man. Holy crap, that's me in a couple of years. Oh, that's gross.
34 in sports years. Remember.
Well, yeah.
In the real world, he's a puppy. But
yeah. In sports years, he's ancient.
Yeah. It's like, bro, do you need a walker? It's like, no, I need double knee surgery.
So yeah, Dallas is starting to figure it out. They signed Maverick Bork and somebody else, just a couple of little signings here, but they're just making some small moves. Again, they're trying to cut cap a little bit, trying to get down. They've still got more cutting to do. And so we're going to be getting rid of at least one, probably two more big names. It'll be interesting to see who's gone and when.
I mean,
Granlund's going to have to be one of them.
Well, Granlund and Jamie Benn, those are two. You've got $3 million to sign your captain and Granlund.
Yep.
Granlund's got to be walking. Like, there's no way.
He's got to be. Yeah.
Because
they just don't have the money, and they got too many positions to fill.
5, 6, 7. Yeah. So, like, if you can bring up, because Cody Ceci will be gone too.
Yep.
Like, it's like, what do you do? It's the Rantanen. It's getting Rantanen.
It really is.
As it kind of stands right now, I think getting Rantanen is actually a problem for the team. Like, everyone was like, oh, Dallas won the Rantanen sweepstakes. Suck it, Edmonton, Toronto, and whoever else was in there. Honestly, now it's like, but these teams were all built around not having someone like Rantanen. So now you get to have the horrible situation of, well, who has to now go because we got Rantanen? Because you didn't have a cool $12 million sitting around just waiting for a guy like him.
Yeah, it's a new set of issues. However, if I'm an NHL GM, if I'm in charge of the Dallas Stars, that is absolutely in a situation that I would take 10 times out of 10. Where you're in a position where we got Mikko Rantanen, so we have to find ways to cut cap for a year or two while the cap goes up. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. So I'm not concerned about him from that regard. I don't think the Mikko Rantanen contract was a bad thing. It is a high contract, but again, Mikko at 12, I don't think is unrealistic. It's when we add in the 12 for Mikko, the 9.8 for... I mean, Tyler Seguin make it 10 mil. Not saying he's not good, but that's still a lot of money. Rupe Hintz, 8.5. Wyatt Johnston, 8.5. Like, you've got too many of these top-heavy contracts here. I don't think it's necessarily all the Rantanen one.
You may have to... Like, I know the talks, the rumors of Jason Robertson getting traded have really died down, but you might just have to.
It's not dead, but they have died down quite a bit. So,
like, I feel like you either got to get rid of Sagan or Robertson at this point.
I don't see how they don't, unless one of them somehow just decides, yeah, you can cut my salary by 2/3, and I'll take it. Which
but
is
you
not
can't.
going to
But you can't cut people's salaries.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like
CBA doesn't allow that.
No, there's no contract restructuring, and it's not like you can buy them out and then sign them for less. No, because when you buy someone out, their cap still
hits your cap.
Hits you for a longer period of time, lower amount, but for longer.
Yeah. I don't know what Dallas is gonna do. Like I said, ultimately, I'm not worried. I know they'll figure something out, and they'll still be good. But it's not going to come without some major sacrifice somewhere. But yeah, looking at that, if it was me, I think you do everything in your power to keep Jason Robertson. I think Tyler Sagan's got to be the one to go with that bloated $10 million contract.
I was like, oh, there's this GM mode button. What's it do? And
I like.
You gotta have an account. Well, I'll have to do that later. That actually looks fun. I kind of want to play around with that. That sounds fun.
We're gonna get real nerdy over this summer.
Where's my glass? Where's my nerd glasses?
Of course you do.
Yeah. Well, if you were to actually trade that for another.
Did you punch the lenses out of those?
Yeah. I have one without the lenses punched out, but it doesn't look as nerdy. Like, look, here we go. Like, now I just...
Yeah,
look
you just
like
look like a tool now.
Yeah, I look like a wannabe hipster. But no.
Yeah, basically.
Because they're like almost they're not quite sunglasses.
Yeah.
They're like those lenses that change from clear to sunglass, but halfway through the transformation. Yeah. I didn't want to get political
boy.
here. So, anyway,
Islanders. Any Islanders fans?
I didn't see anything about this, so I'm gonna need you to fill me in on this.
Yeah, if any of the 4 New York Islanders fans are watching, you guys are in a pretty good position. You know, we know New York's got the number 1 pick. They're not content with that. They're trying to get more. And so what?
Simply not good enough. Having the first overall pick, please.
It's true.
That's the best we could do with our 3% chance of getting the first overall pick. Come on now, buddy. We could do better.
I've been seeing a lot about the Islanders trying to get another pick. The specifics I haven't been seeing as much, but it's starting to ramp up. But again, we know, we're a week away from the draft. Everything, rumors are going to be up and down like crazy. So we don't know what's going to happen. But from what we're seeing right now, obviously number 1 overall pick, they're taking Matthew Schaefer. That's basically a given. They're also wanting to get James Higgins. The problem with that is that they're going to need to get another high pick. And what they're being linked to is deep discussions between New York Islanders and Boston Bruins right now. So Boston's got the 7th overall pick. Boston is looking for a top 6 forward or defenseman who is go ready now. They're not looking for a developmental piece. They want somebody who can just slot right into the lineup and contribute. These sources that are reporting that are saying it's basically down to most likely Noah Dobson, with Alexander Romanov as a close second. So Noah Dobson or Romanov for the 7th overall pick to try to take Higgins. The other issue that they're running into, if they get that 7th pick, they're going to have to make another trade. Because Utah has the number 4 overall pick, and they are looking very, very likely to be taking Higgins. So this is one that I'm fully expecting. It'll be 3 minutes before the draft starts. There will be a flurry of moves, and we're going to see this pan out, and we'll see what happens. But the Islanders are trying to get 2 top 10 picks here. They're liking what they're seeing. We'll see if they can do it. But they're going all in on the draft right now. So that basically tells you, they're looking to compete in a couple of years, but not anytime soon.
Go back. I'm trying to see. Yeah, because I'm trying to see the mock draft, like a mock draft scenario. See what the order is.
I found a few.
Oh, here we go. Prospect rankings. Okay, so we got Schaefer, Michael Misa, James Higgins, Jake O'Brien. So, but the thing is, would Utah even get Higgins?
And that's kind of what's up there.
Because he's got to pass through Chicago and San Jose too. Like I get Higgins isn't a big guy, so I don't know how much I love that for either Chicago or San Jose right now with their current lineups.
Sure.
Like, I definitely think.
Yeah, spoiler alert, we are going to be live next Friday for round 1 of the draft, so we'll be able to go a lot deeper into some of these prospects. Yeah, we're talking about it. We'll let you know. So we'll be going a lot deeper into some of these prospects, talking about who they are, how they're fitting with the teams, and everything like that. But from everything that I've been seeing, yeah, San Jose and Chicago, obviously, before Utah, but neither of them are looking to take Higgins. Why? I don't know. Depending on which mock draft you're seeing, Higgins is anywhere between 3rd and about 8th.
I think it's just because of his size. Because he's 5'10". Because the thing, Chicago doesn't need another teeny tiny elite forward. They have their guy. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't need another. Bedard. So they're likely going to be either looking for a big tough defenseman or a big center for Bedard, which you've got Jake O'Brien as a center.
Center. Not a big guy.
You got Misa Michael.
Yeah.
Jake O'Brien and Radim Murtka.
Say that 10 times fast.
Murtka.
The other one that's moving up and down quite a bit, if you look in the 7th spot on your list there, Caleb Denoye. He's been up and down on a lot of these mock drafts as well. And
we also forgot about the international skaters.
Sure.
Oh wait, that
but
didn't change
according
anything.
to most of the reports that I've been seeing, Utah's looking to get Denoye before Hagen's even. So It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't hate that by any means. Overall, I don't think centers really are a big issue right now, but
what's nice about centers though is you can always have them play wing.
Exactly.
Wingers can't always play center, but centers can almost always also play wing. And so that way you have...
It's never a bad thing to have an extra center.
Oh, honestly, if I could, I'd just fill my team with centers because then anyone can take face-offs, and you just have the guy on this whichever side of the ice you're on, have the strong side guy take the face-off, and whoever's playing the best or whoever's got the best legs, you have them there, and then you just have the other guys play the winger roles. I don't think that's a harder thing to do.
No, not at all. Not at all. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Kind of just see what happens here, but
I just want Roger McQueen. I just like the dude's 6'5" and his name's McQueen. Roger McQueen. It's such a dope name.
Honestly, there are, like you were saying with Chicago, Utah's another one. Like, there's a few of these teams that just need size. I would literally just don't care about stats, don't care about anything else. I just want to see height, weight, wingspan, and whoever's got the biggest numbers, press the button. There are some teams that's probably not a terrible strategy for them.
Yeah.
So,
do we have any goalies ranked high? Have you been seeing any goalies being taken in the first round?
No. I've heard a couple of their names getting thrown around here and there as options, but nothing super high, nothing super crazy. So
go away.
Well, that's annoying.
Well, rip that. Yeah. Well, good luck to the Islanders. That's interesting that they've got a type. Oh, hey, the international skaters thing finally worked.
Hey, there you go. Yeah,
I wish they wouldn't do this where they separate it. I'd love to see it next to each other.
Hold it together, yeah.
But wow,
that other article you just tried opening that wouldn't open, I'm able to get down there without the paywall. First goalie even on this mock draft, Joshua Ravensbergen at 26 going to Nashville.
Oh yeah, because Nashville needs another goalie.
Right-handed defenseman going to Edmonton at 28, Blake Fiddler.
Like Fiddler on the Roof.
Basically.
Blake Fiddler. Okay. See, what I'd really like is for us to get William Horkoff, because Sean Horkoff was our number one center in our 06 Cup run, and that's his son. Okay. And look at this dude. Look at this beefy man. 6'5", 203, like woohoo.
I mean, if you're wanting the height, Blake Fiddler, not a small boy either, but right underneath him, Mason West, 6'6", 218. Yeah.
But okay, but wait.
Right-handed defenseman going to Edmonton there.
Wait, Blake Fiddler's right-handed defenseman? That's exactly what we need.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, again, this is a mock draft, of course, so we don't want to get too excited, but
oh gosh.
Yeah, 28 going to Edmonton. So
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Wait, why do they have Edmonton picking 28th? We should be picking 31st. Whatever.
I don't know things.
I don't care.
We'll look into it more. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Oh, I just saw Ivan Ryabkin at the midterm rankings was ranked 3rd. Now he's ranked 35th. Sheesh.
Ooh.
Drop off there.
Did he
for
get
that guy.
caught smoking pot? Like, what happened?
Probably.
No, this is the NFL. Jonathan
Yeah, no.
Tays.
Yeah, no, you get caught. You get dinged for doing way worse stuff as a hockey player.
Yeah.
We don't need to.
Carter Hart.
Hey, he might get off. He might get off, and that's that. Oilers could sign him. Have Skinner Hart.
Kind of the problem is he already did get off, and that's what got him in trouble to begin with.
Hey, now
Jonathan
this is a
Tays
family
for the
show.
third time.
This is a family show. Goodness.
Tays makes his return official, and by official we mean what's the date today? 21st. So like 14 days. What is that? 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 days from now, it will be official. He has agreed to a contract with the Winnipeg Jets. Cannot be officially signed until the 1st of July. But he'll be going to Winnipeg for 1 year, $2 million. Did you have a chance to take a look at that link that I posted in there?
At the performance
To look
bonuses?
at all
No.
those performance bonuses.
Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at these performances bonuses here. Okay.
Yeah.
Base salary $2 million. Receive a $500,000 bonus for every 20 games he plays. Wow.
So that's a potential for another. Just by playing the whole season, he doubles his contract. Without scoring a single goal, play every game of the season, he doubles his contract.
Dang.
Then an extra $500 if he makes the playoffs.
And he appears in 50
or more games.
Wow.
So now he's at 4.5. Another $250 for each playoff round Winnipeg wins.
Okay, so he'll make $250.
Another $250, maybe another $5. Yeah. And $1 million bonus if they win the Stanley Cup. That's not happening.
Holy cow. So if everything happened, so if every $250K bonus for every round they win. So if they win the cup, that's already $1 million. He gets another $1 million. Another $1
Yeah, so what do we got? $2 million, 550 times 4.
2.2.
What is that? 2, yep. So 2.2. What do we got next? Where'd you
Plus
go?
another 500 if they make the
can only be
playoffs.
done once. Okay. 250 for each round, so another $1 million. And then if they win the Stanley Cup. So that's a 1 year, $2 million contract that turns into $6.7 million.
What?
Attaboy.
I mean, hey, they've got the space. Who do they need to sign?
Yeah.
Nikolai Ehlers. Okay, that's not going to be cheap. Brandon Tanev. Mason Appleton. Not necessarily.
Yep.
Gabriel Velarde. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know. Everything I've been seeing the
Oh.
last 2-3 days, Ehlers and
my.
Velarde both are going to be skyrocketing in price right now. So those are not going to be good. But I have always been
6.25. How?
I've always been a huge fan of performance incentives in major sports contracts. I would rather just, here have your base money, but we want to pay you more and reward you and give you something to look forward to instead of here's $10 million whether you suck or not. So I've always been a big fan of the incentives. I love seeing a contract like that. So good for him.
Well, this I know we had this slotted in for later, but maybe this is a good time to bring up another reason to support your this. So for there's reasons to want to have some performance incentives as well, because there's this wonderful clause in this NHL CBA, performance bonus overage. So Are you an NHL hockey team looking to sign a player on an entry-level contract, a player that's 35 years or older and only want to sign them for a one-year contract, or a veteran player that has missed considerable time due to injury and signs a one-year contract, but you're unsure about how much to pay them, and if you sign them for too much, it's going to hurt your cap? Well, have I got the solution for you? If your player meets any one of those three conditions, and you give them bonuses in their contract, but it would put you over the cap, you can do this wonderful thing of sign now, pay later. You can have anything that would put you over the cap apply to next year's cap, absolutely penalty free, except for the fact you'll have a lower cap next year, but penalty free. So who might be taking advantage of this, might you ask? Well, currently, there are 11 teams that have done this. First and foremost, the St. Louis Blues. But any one of these teams there is doing this. Now, who would be an example of this? Well, let's look at Edmonton. Corey Perry. He got a bonus. He earned $150K from the regular season, another $100K for how many games he played in the regular season and the playoff success of the Oilers, kind of like we've seen Jonathan Toews do. So under this clause, Jonathan Toews would be eligible for this. So Winnipeg really only has to keep $2 million of their cap space available for him, because any of the bonuses he may or may not receive, if necessary, could apply to next year. Absolutely penalty free this year.
That's wild. We are now financing professional sports contracts. Have you bought anything online recently? And you can
finance everything.
You can finance a burrito. I feel like we're financing a hockey burrito at this point. And not gonna lie, there is a part of me that wants to get Chipotle for lunch and finance a burrito as long as they'll let me, just for the sake of financing a burrito, because I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, hey, maybe it'll improve your credit score. You never know. We're going to be financing the donaires that they shoot out at people in the crowd during Oilers games, because they do that.
Dude,
they'll do that.
I want a donaire so bad right now.
For those uncultured Americans, that's a gyro or a euro.
Yeah, but it's better. I don't know what I don't know if it's different sauce or what, but
we have actual Middle Eastern people here that make them.
I mean, that could be it too.
Though my dad and I did go to one that was run by an Asian dude, and so it was
really?
Anyway, it's all been learned here. Canada, you can be anything and anyone, and make anything.
How did your cat donaire taste?
I didn't order it. I didn't order it. I didn't order it. Oh man. Okay. Well.
Anyway,
now that we've been canceled,
performance incentives canceled by all three people watching. Who cares? Come at me. Canucks trying to make moves.
Keyword trying.
Yeah, trying. Brock Besser's basically, the quote was essentially understood that he's gone.
Was that
doesn't want to come back? He's going to.
Is that the quote from the middle of the season, or?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, Vancouver has been just a freaking mess this year. And
Oilers break teams.
It's sad, but at the same time, it's kind of entertaining because somebody has to be a mess and give us entertainment. But yeah, Brock Besser's gone basically at this point. It's all but confirmed. They have officially made a trade offer to the Minnesota Wild for Marco Rossi. Unfortunately, we have zero details on said trade. But we at least know Vancouver's trying to make moves and trying to patch some of the holes that they know are coming. They already got rid of JT Miller. That didn't fix their problems. We'll see how many more players have to get shipped off. Quinn Hughes is one of those that he keeps being brought up. 99% of me thinks it will never happen, but I can't definitively say it won't, 100% of the way. So we'll see. But they're out there making moves. Minnesota, they need to be smart. They've got to lock some of these guys down. They need to keep their core. Because if all they're going to have is Kirill Kaprizov, they are not going to do well. He's got to have a team around him.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully for them, they'll be able to do something with that.
I think they're really close. Like I think they were just barely not able. Like they were a minute. They were a half an inch offside away from eliminating
Basically.
Vegas.
Basically.
And so they've got Matt Boldy. He's great.
Yeah.
Eriksson Ek, love him. Zuccarello, not bad. Yeah. Foligno, not bad. Hartman, I like.
Foligno.
Brock Faber, stud defenseman. I would love to have him.
I think everybody would.
Spurgeon's
but even that,
good.
like, the thing that I really like about Minnesota, I mean, again, anybody who's been with us knows that I've been high on Minnesota for quite a while. I really like their team makeup. But they just, you've got Kirill Kaprizov, and outside of him, you don't have any of, like, the top-tier names. You have to drop down to that next tier, and that's where you're getting those Matt Boldies, the Matt Zuccarellos.
Oh, could you imagine if they got Sam Bennett?
Talent. Oh.
That's where he needs to go. I know he's going to stay in Florida, but I would love him. I'd love him in Minnesota. He's exactly what they need. Ekblad. Do they need a right shot? They could, yeah. Ekblad would work. Ekblad would work. Yeah.
Zeev Buium, I don't know if you watched any of his game, but he came up during the playoffs and made his debut. And that kid's got some talent. And so obviously it's going to take a couple years for him to develop. But this is a really freaking good team. And they're quietly good, and that's why I respect them so much. I love that, we're just going to shut up and play our game. We're not going to get in everybody's face and be obnoxious about it. And they have a really well put together team. I don't know what it is that they need to get over the hump, but they've got to figure it out, and I hope they do. I want to see Minnesota do well.
I really do too. I like them, man. I love their jersey. Yeah. I wouldn't mind having a wild jersey. They're so good. I'm
still heavily debating getting me a Kirill Minnesota Wild jersey.
Why not? Why not?
And they let the Flower retire with them. So, like, how do you hate them?
You can't
how
hate
do you
them.
hate them?
And they got Gustafsson.
Yeah.
With his goalie goal.
Goalie goal.
Goalie goal. Okay.
Other than that, a couple more smaller moves. Fabian Zetterlund re-signed with the Senators for 3 years, $12.825. And Andrei Burakovsky got sent to Chicago from Seattle for Joe Veleno. A couple more that significant but not huge. Those are not going to be team changing or game breaking or anything. But they're big enough, big enough to mention. With the offseason just starting, it's always fun looking at some of these moves. But the big move that is guaranteed definitely happening. I can see how amused you are. Now, you have to hear me out on this.
I will let you speak. I'll mute myself.
I do agree with you. I want to start right from the outset. I agree with you. Anybody who's been paying attention to any of the news, Connor McDavid's leaving Edmonton is kind of the big story. Now, we're 2 days removed from the Stanley Cup. Everybody needs something to talk about. They need to grab the headlines. I'm just going to put another window over your face so I don't have to see it.
I'll stop.
Yeah, everybody needs something to talk about, and so that's a large part of it. Even if there's plenty of actual real news to talk about, the tabloid and the clickbait pages on Facebook have got to have something to talk about. And so you kind of just leave it alone. And, oh, Connor McDavid, yeah, when pigs fly. This is one that everything tells me this is exactly the same as everything else we've ever seen. Connor McDavid's not leaving. They're making a big deal of it, trying to get clicks. I don't know. Did I see something from a source that I trust a little bit more? Is it just the frequency is breaking me down? Is there something that I've seen that I can't articulate? I don't know what it is. But as much as I don't believe any of this has any merit and I don't think he's going anywhere, my gut tells me that I can't be sure. And when I say that my gut is telling me that there's something to it, I'm not saying that means that he's decided to leave, but maybe there was something he said that could reasonably be interpreted as I'm willing to look elsewhere. And so I don't know where I'm at with that. I mean, that's really the best way I can think to articulate it. Again, I don't think he's going to leave, but my gut tells me this is at least something we can't 100% write off. We at least need to watch and look and see what's going to happen with it.
And that's fair. Counterpoints. Lol, people think he's leaving. So the thing I find most funny about the whole talk, because I could let it get me annoyed and rile me up and go, what? People are so... I just laugh because it's just, people just are so desperate for something to talk about that they have to try and make something out of nothing.
Sure.
Let's forget everything he's ever said the past number of years about loving being in Edmonton, loving being an Oiler, wants to be here for many more years to come, has literally said to reporters that he hopes to be an Oiler for life.
Yeah.
Let's ignore all of that. And let's just start being fair about looking at only the things he said in the couple days post losing the cup in the finals for the second year in a row and determine his likelihood of staying based solely off of that. He is saying almost the exact same things that Draisaitl was saying a year ago in this exact situation when people were asking him about re-signing. About, I got to look at what's best for my family. I got to look what's best for me. I got to see, what the situations are and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fair. That is the proper thing to say when you don't have a deal inked and you need to be professional. That is what you're coached to say so that, you're not giving any guarantees that you have to go back on. That's just smart interviewing. Okay?
100%.
That's
100%.
If we look at the situation he's in here right now, he has a multi-million-dollar home that he and his wife custom built. He and his wife got married last year and have really begun to establish their roots here, particularly his wife and the business mogul. She is actively involved in multiple clothing brands here in Edmonton, particularly with the Oilers Ice District authentic store and creating all these fancy clothing lines. She's literally built, refurbished, redone, and created this high-end luxury bar here in the city that is just about to open, if it hasn't already.
Oh, are you going?
No, I don't. One, it's going to be expensive. Two, I don't drink. So I'm like, what do I need? What am I going to go to?
Bars have good food.
Yeah, but
bar food's great.
But this is a bougie bar. This is a bougie bar.
That's fair.
And it's like it's not going to be. I mean, I'll have to check it out, but I'm anticipating it's not really going to be like a place that is targeted for me. If I'm being honest.
Sure. No,
that's
fair.
Like, for example, her clothing brands through the Oilers have largely been for women's clothing.
You don't wear women's clothing is what I'm hearing.
Not in public.
Okay. We'll learn something new every day.
Privately, I'm not submitting to anything, but my alter ego. No. Like anyway. he's too integral. The organization, because here's also the thing: where could he go that would give him a better chance of winning, that is more dedicated to winning, with more dedicated ownership, management, better facility. Like, there's nowhere better for him to go. Here, he can play with his best friend, Leon Draisaitl, the second best player in the world, arguably, who was better than McDavid this season.
Yeah.
This is where his friends are. This is where he's established his, like, the closest sources I've heard give a 0% chance of him leaving.
Yeah.
And it's now just a matter of the contract term, because with the cap going up so much over the next number of years, if you focus on percentage of the cap that someone like him should be making, it's better to sign for a shorter amount of time. And you saw Matthews do this, because you don't if you also want to make sure, and the NHLPA wants to make sure people like McDavid are getting paid more for the benefit of everyone else in the league, it's better to sign for a shorter time. So the thing that's up for question to me is term. I think it's going to be 4 to 5 years, not if he'll sign it all.
So here's the next question with that then, because again, no arguments here. I don't think anything that you brought up doesn't make sense. For argument's sake, he stays in Edmonton, guaranteed. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of the terms, like you said. How much, especially with all the other businesses, all the brand and endorsement deals, how much of a team-friendly deal is he willing to take? Does he go for, yeah, you guys want to lock me down? Yeah, I'll give you, 10 by 10. He could easily make twice that, especially if he wants to do the smaller contract. Does he,
Max is 8 years, by the way.
Is it? Okay, fine. Well, 8 by 10 then, whatever it is. Does he look at this and say, if I take less money, because $10 million is still a lot of money to play hockey, I think he'll be okay making $10 million. Does he take that and say, I will take a smaller contract if and only if you go sign X, Y, or Z players? Does he try to, hey, let me give you some of my money back because I'd rather you put a team around me, like we've seen with some other guys in some other sports? Tom Brady was notorious for that in the NFL. Peyton Manning tried to do the same thing with Indianapolis, and they ended up getting rid of him for it. But we see that with a lot of other teams. What's the likelihood, you think, of him doing something like that versus whatever the max dollar amount you'll give me, I'll just take it and go?
Quite low, actually, for a couple of reasons. One, you don't really see that in hockey. You don't have the controlling diva players, because you don't have players that are as critical to the success of your team as you do in football or basketball. Sure. For example, Tom Brady literally could win a championship almost on his own. You give him Gronk and maybe one receiver, and he can get it done for you, right?
Sure.
The rest of your team, there's a certain level of suck that does become too much, but they don't have to be elite per se.
Yeah.
In basketball, one player can make all the difference. In hockey, it doesn't work like that. It does need to be a team thing. And when you've got competent management that is so committed to winning and doing those things already, you don't need to be... Players in the NHL don't want to be involved in management decisions like roster signings.
Let me clarify. I'm not saying I'll trade you $5 million a year for roster control. It's I'm willing to take less so that you can go sign better players, as opposed to I'm going to take up all of our cap space and then you have to just go sign scraps to fill spots.
What's crazy is that even though he was the highest paid player, he was actually doing that. He was offered more on his last contract, and he asked for less.
Yeah.
Even though he was the highest paid player in the league.
12 or 13,
12 and a half.
Something like that?
12 and a half million. Yeah. He was the highest paid player, but he was offered more.
I think it would be a smart move for him.
0. The lowest I see him going is 15. Not necessarily because he wouldn't take less, but because the forces around him, without requiring him, are requiring him to take more.
And that's the hard part once you get the CBA involved in the union and all that, like you were mentioning earlier. Yeah.
Like they have an expectation of how much he needs to make because of the ripple effect of what other players can make.
Correct.
And so if you he can't be making less than Draisaitl.
Yeah.
Because he is considered a better player. Yeah, Draisaitl's up to 14. So I think he's going to, if with very little knowledge, so this could be completely off.
Sure. Yeah, this is all speculation too.
The lowest, I think he'll want 16 million, because then he's again highest paid player, couple million more than Draisaitl, but again, that's a lower percentage of the cap than he could get. He could go anywhere and get 20 million easily.
Probably.
Anyone that has the space, so many people would do it.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a good chance he gets 18. I'm hoping to see 16.
Yeah.
Because then you have that, as the cap continues to go up, you have that luxury of the extra space that you're going. It's not as big an increase as he could get. It's not that much more than he's already making. So I'm hoping 16. A magical world would be like the 14 to 15 million, but I don't think he'll be allowed to do that. But we'll see. We'll see.
Even for argument's sake, if he's got to be the top player, give him 14.5. Just edge out Draisaitl, but keep it low. The problem with that is I can guarantee Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner are going to get around that range, if not more. So he won't.
Well, Matthews already got his deal last year.
How long is it though? Did he get a full?
It's a 4 or 5 years. Let me pull it up here.
So we got a few years.
Yeah, let me pull her up here. Matthews is making 13.25, and he's got 3 years left on his deal.
Yeah. So it'll be a little bit, but yeah, I mean it's tough because it's easy to say while I'm sitting here at home not playing professional sports. But at some point, I don't need to make, I'm not going to complain that you only gave me $16 million and I think I need 18. You're making that much money. At that point, the extra $2 million really doesn't matter. And so if you truly want to win, I would be willing to just give up so much. Just, you take care of me, I'll take care of you. Let's get a winning team out there. Again, I understand that's very, very easy for me to say because I'm not in that situation. I hope they're able to come to a conclusion that is going to be good enough to keep the powers that be off their back, but not handcuff the team. If we sign McDavid to this long-term deal and then 3 years down the road, oh crap, we're running into cap hell, I'm going to be pissed.
Nope.
So that is the only concern that I have. And obviously, I think he's the type of guy he's going to do everything that he possibly can. There's only so much he can do about that.
Yeah.
So
I think it's fine. Things will be good.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, but overall, again, Connor McDavid's not leaving, guys. Let's let the rumor mill fly. If you guys have the opportunity, spin that wheel a little bit more.
I'm just gonna
I'm
gonna sit here, eat my popcorn.
Yeah. Stir the pot. Let's have some entertainment, but it ain't happening. He's an Oiler for life. So.
Yes, sir.
You got anything else for us, my friend?
Nope.
Been a good year.
Very good year.
We'll keep you guys posted. Like we said, we're in talks about doing something for the draft next week, so we'll let you know. Just stay tuned for that. I'm trying to get a little bit better at posting on socials so you guys kind of know what's happening before it happens. So feel free.
We've learned a lot.
Give me all the hate. I deserve it. Bring it on. But yeah, no, that's a good point. Like, we've learned a lot. We're still learning.
Mm.
It's a lot about, this first season. I think we're learning a lot about kind of what works, what doesn't work, but mostly how much do we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I I think we're on the same page. Feel free to correct me. I don't want to speak for Kynan here, but this is something that over the summer we're going to be putting a lot of effort into this, a lot of work. We want to improve. We want to do a lot better next year.
Mm-hmm.
This was a lot of trial and error, a lot of trial runs. The biggest thing for me is we need to find a time that's going to be a little bit more consistent. I know we've been kind of going back and forth, throwing you guys all over the place. This is never meant to be like this is going to be our new career. If that were to happen, that would be crazy. I would love that. That would be a lot of fun. But that's not what we're pushing for. We're here to have fun. We're here to be able to connect with people, talk to people, do something that's entertaining for us. And we've talked about it before. We're trying to give some insights and speculate and talk about things rather than just read headlines. And so, again, we've been doing a lot of trial and error. We're going to be doing a lot more, and we'll keep you posted over the summer. I don't want to go dark over the summer, but obviously there's going to be a lot less content, a lot less things happening. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, we'll kind of go from there and see what's happening. We appreciate everybody who's been here with us, and it's been a good first year. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for that. And I'm just going to say that Jeff can speak for me, because all of that I would say and agree with. So thank you for all the fun, Jeff. And thanks for initiating this and asking me to do this with you. This was all started by Jeff, guys. Like, all 100% props to him. This has been great. It's been real. And we'll make some improvements. We'll do some work over the summer, and it'll be better next year, as it should be.
As it should be. So with that, keep your eyes peeled. Maybe we'll see you on Friday. But until then, have a good one.